The Kansas City Chiefs just got a big update on wide receiver Hollywood Brown. He could be returning to practice this week, Chiefs Kingdom. We're going to break it all down. You guys are listening to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the luxury of being joined by my good friend Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com. And together we're going to break down the latest report from Nate Taylor of The Athletic, saying that wide receiver Hollywood Brown is expected to practice this week. Again, this is according to Nate Taylor of The Athletic. And we also got a following report from Nate Taylor saying the earliest that Hollywood Brown could return is against the Houston Texans. However, the target date for him to return is on Christmas Day against the Steelers. Now, that's not really that off from what we've seen over the past couple of weeks. We've reported on this channel that he'll probably be back on Christmas. Yeah. But it's great to see that Hollywood Brown is going to be back at practice this week. And Josh, I want to get your thoughts. I mean, are you excited to see the Chiefs' number one wide receiver back on the practice field for this team?
Yeah, it's a relief finally, because you could also always have like a setback or something that prevents him from getting back at that target time that we've heard for a while, which is that Christmas Day game. But it's just a sigh of relief to finally hear that he's going to be at practice this week, like playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, we're going to see him. There's going to be clips that show up of him running around on the practice field finally. And yeah, it's a really good thing, because Lord knows that this offense needs an injection of talent and speed that Hollywood Brown can bring.
When for the people in the comments section, they're going to say, oh, we've already got the talent and speed with Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown is a proven commodity in the NFL. He's done it at multiple different stops. He is going to be this team's number 2 wide receiver behind DeAndre Hopkins. And that is a massive addition to this offense that is starving for wide receiver talent at this point. And we've seen over the past couple of weeks, Hollywood Brown's been getting some work in on the jugs machines in the facility, rehabbing that shoulder. But it's just good to see that he's going to be returning to practice, because like we've been talking about for such a long time, all it takes is one minor setback to completely derail an injury. And we've talked about it in the past as well, that with some players, if they get hurt, they kind of just pack it in. Like, I haven't played all season. There's no point in rushing back. But Hollywood Brown has been attacking rehab each and every single day. He's been one of the guys like Rashee Rice who have just been in that facility getting treatment on that injury and trying to come back as quickly as humanly possible. And so I'm almost relieved that we're going to see Hollywood Brown return to this team by the end of December. And so I guess this question that I have for you, Josh, is do you rush him back against the Texans, or do you wait till Christmas? Because he could play against Houston, but is that too risky?
Yeah, we kind of talked about this earlier on my channel. And my personal feelings are you wait to him him out there until Christmas, or I could be okay with him being out there against the Texans and maybe he runs like 3 or 4 routes, goes through walkthroughs and warm-ups before the game, but just doesn't play that much. But you're just trying to get that conditioning in a little bit and getting him some reps, but maybe he's not really ever in the plans to get targets in that game. I could see that happening, but my gut says just wait till Christmas, especially after what happened with DJ Humphries, and we talked about that too. I just think you have to be careful with this, especially with how thin you are really across the board.
Yeah, and if the DJ Humphries injury taught us anything, it's that don't rush a guy back from injury and expect him to start right away, because you're only risking further injury, and we're still waiting on the results of that MRI for DJ Humphries, but a hamstring injury for a guy that's coming off of an ACL injury, not good. And so hopefully we see him come back later this season, and hopefully it's not too serious. But the Chiefs don't want to make the same mistake with Hollywood Brown. They've already missed him the entire season, and so they have to be very cautious when bringing him back. Don't rush him back, because what does it matter in week 16 or 17 against a Houston Texans team or a Pittsburgh Steelers team that you might just have to face again when the game actually matters? And so, yes, it's important to get Hollywood Brown back in the offense, get him some reps. But like you said, Josh, make him a decoy. Make him someone that can just go out there, run a couple routes, and get the feel of playing football again at the professional level, and just let him kind of shake some of the rust off, and he'll be good to go for the playoffs.
Yeah, because it's been so long that he's been on the field. It's going to take a minute for him to get in game shape. So you just have to find the balance between not rushing him back, but also making sure he has enough time to get his feet under him before you get into the playoffs. And there's just not really time to mess around with the rotations. But I'll tell you what, it'll be nice once he is in there because it's going to open up so many other players on this team. And if you've looked at the snap counts recently, Juju Smith-Schuster and Justin Watson have been leading the way. DeAndre Hopkins has not been playing that much still. There's other players on this team that probably should be playing a little bit more, but it just kind of feels like the Chiefs maybe are trying to save their best for that stretch run of the season. So I'm hoping that's the case because once you get to the postseason, it's going to be really nice. And I'm hoping, we see an improvement from this offense when Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins are the ones playing the majority of the snaps.
If the Chiefs get the number 1 seed, which they're on track to do, 3 games. 3 games is all we need from DeAndre Hopkins, all we need from Hollywood Brown, all we need from DJ Humphries. 3 freaking games and you can three-peat. And that's, again, assuming that you do get the number 1 seed. But I think that the Chiefs need to play the long game with this. They don't need him to come back, in week 16 or 17. They need him for that 3-game stretch in the playoffs. But I think that they're going to be very smart with bringing him back. And so I'm not super concerned about that. But Josh, I do have a question for you. So with all of the rumors that the Chiefs are going to clinch the 1 seed and they could potentially do it by that Steelers game, on Christmas, would you play Hollywood Brown in the final week of the season against the Broncos if you don't play any of your other starters because he needs the reps?
I guess part of it is dependent on how he looks before that. Like maybe if we're just like, Hollywood needs to get out there and get more reps, then sure. I think a safe place to be at is to have him play like the first half or the first quarter against Denver, and then you can pull him as well as the rest of the starters after that. But it's still going to be important for him to get that experience for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Before we go any further, guys, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, the Rice Real Estate Group. At Rice Real Estate Group, they're more than just a real estate team. They're a full-service partner in residential, commercial, and investment properties. They specialize in guiding clients through every stage, from the buying and selling process to handling complex, short sale situations with ease. Their passion lies in the personal one-on-one care they bring to every client relationship, ensuring each experience is tailored, smooth, and successful. Here it's all about building trust, delivering expertise, and ensuring every client feels valued throughout their journey. For more information, call Marla Rice at 816-819-9333. Huge thanks to the sponsors that support this channel all football season long. But Josh, my final question for you, and it's going to be kind of hard to predict, but if you had to give an end of the season stat line for Hollywood Brown, assuming, let's just say for the sake of this argument, he comes back on Christmas, how many yards does he finish with and how many touchdowns does he finish with?
All right, let me pull up the schedule real quick so I can get you my best possible answer. So if he comes back on Christmas, and that's against the Steelers, that would give him a few games.
That might only be 2 if I'm correct.
Yeah, so that would give him 2 games. So the Steelers and the Broncos. Ooh. I'll say he has 8 catches for 123 yards, and we see at least 1 touchdown.
Wow.
And I think he'll probably have 4 catches in each game. The Steelers game, you'll see a play, and it's like, okay, Hollywood is back. Like, it'll be a big play, like a 40-yard pass or something like that. But then I think where you'll see him mostly used is actually on some quick passes and some of the underneath routes. You'll see that in both the Steelers and Broncos games. And that's kind of also the play he got injured on. It was a quick underneath pass. I think it was like a snag route, and that's how he injured his shoulder after getting tackled. But also, if you just look at Mahomes' passing charts this year, it's just littered with checkdowns and shallow passes, and that's just kind of the game that the Chiefs have played this year. So they're going to get the ball in his hands quickly, and they're just going to let their playmakers go to work.
Josh, I think that might be a little optimistic. I might be a hater. I hope I'm not a hater to the Chiefs kingdom right now. He's got 2 games, and that's assuming that they just use the first one to knock the dust off his cleats. I'm going to say he finishes the regular season with 5 catches for 50 yards. 5 for 50. I think that's probably a realistic option. I would love for him to do more. I'm not hating on him. I'd love for him to go out there and ball, but he's coming back from an injury that was fairly serious that kept him out most of the year. And so I think that probably 5 catches for 50 yards is my best answer. So Josh, that's all we have for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. You can go check out Josh's stuff. It's all linked in the description below. But Josh, do you have anything else you want to add, where you can find your stuff?
Yeah, I apologize for being blurry. There we go. I went ahead and turned the resolution down, but you can find my stuff on Show Me Football here on YouTube. You can go ahead and follow my Twitter at ShowMeFB. And then lastly, you can check out my work on ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com for more.
And all that stuff, guys, will be linked in the description as it always is. As for me, if you guys have not already done it, hit that subscribe button, like this video before you leave. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.